Yo, what's going on, guys? And today, Jovan Buha of The Athletic put out another video talking that the Lakers are going to be taking a patient approach to the trade market, which is kind of going against the rumors we initially heard that they were going to be aggressive. So before we start today's video, I'd love to hear your guys' opinions down below in the comment section. What do you guys think the Los Angeles Lakers are going to do and why? So Jovan Buha said that he heard the Lakers have been patient with the trade approach relatively. It's been more of them waiting towards February 6th. If the right deal comes sooner, they will make it, but it's more seemingly than more kind of waiting this out, as they're looking for guys who are going to fit this team and what their needs are, which is guard depth and front court depth. So the Los Angeles Lakers are currently 18-13th. They're in the 6th spot for the Western Conference standings, and they're embracing a solid, smart approach by being a patient one. Now, the roster is very similar, even though they have first-year head coach JJ Redick leading the way. While their performances showed promise, there are some flaws with this roster. And this is a team that needs to get better at rebounding, better at perimeter defense, and just better as a three-point shooting team, as they are one of the bottom half in all three-point shooting statistics. Now, the Lakers are averaging 112 points per game, 17th in the league, and they're the fourth best free throw percentage team in the league, while they're limiting turnovers. They're 7th in turnovers per game, 13.6. However, defensively, they have a defensive rating of 114. Their net differential rating is 19th in the league, net negative 2.1. And they're the third worst rebounding team in the league and the 12th worst three-point shooting team, like ranking the bottom half of the league. So those are really the two areas that I think everybody's been looking, hey, could get better. And per usual, LeBron James and Anthony Davis remain dominant forces. LeBron's averaging 23, 8, and 9, 49% from field. Yeah, Father Time is, creeping up, but he's still LeBron James. And Anthony Davis, he was super hot to start the year. He's kind of cooled off, but he's still playing great. 26 points, almost 12 rebounds, 2 blocks, just 53% from the field. And Austin Reeves has really ascended into that third role. Rui Hachimura is just stroking it from deep. And the biggest problem is they just don't have good outside of Austin Reeves. D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent have been like league average to below league average three-point shooters this season. And I feel like those are the two guys that we know they're dangling. They've said they don't want to trade Rui Hachimura, and it's more D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent and Jalen Hood-Schifino who is being dangled. So to align with JJ Redick's system, which emphasizes perimeter defense, shooting, and rebounding to get second chance opportunities or kickstart fast breaks, I think they need to look for guys who can maybe help them make an immediate impact. I think, again, if they're going for a big, if they could somehow pry Nick Richards, who's making like $7 million with the Charlotte Hornets, he's a guy who averages like 7 and 7 and 20-something minutes a night. He's a solid rim protector. He can be a starter or off the bench for this team. He has another year on his deal, but having a guy who can give you hustle, energy, and second chance opportunities would be huge. Dorian Finney-Smith would be another guy that on the Brooklyn Nets that I would really like them to check in out, as he's a guy who is a double-digit scorer, a really solid three-point shooter, and can rebound and guard multiple positions, as he's a reliable 3-and-D guy who will seamlessly fit at the wing or forward spot next to LeBron and Davis. Now, outside of that, point guards. Could Cole Anthony be a guy that they go after? Cole Anthony and Gary Harris for D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent, which D'Lo would give, hypothetically, the Magic some three-point shooting and cap flexibility as he's an expiring. And then you have Gabe Vincent, who can be their reclamation project veteran. But they already have Corey Joseph, and that would only be if you're trying to get both D'Lo and not D'Lo, but Gary Harris and Cole Anthony, because Gary Harris is a wing, Cole Anthony point guard. Still leaves the whole center position question marks. There's also Kevin Huerter who's available. Like, you could look at, and I think this is a really bad, like, this is the, I think would be a deal if they made it. It's because there's no other deal available, and it would like be Alex Lynn, Trey Lyles, and Kevin Huerter for Gabe Vincent and D'Angelo Russell. Now you look at that deal and you're like, well, Trey Lyles, Kevin Huerter, and Gabe and Alex Lynn, that's about $25 million right there. And you have similarly almost $30 million. So you're actually saving money from doing this deal. You could also see if Jordan McLaughlin wants to get thrown in so you can get a mediocre backup point guard. But I just don't think they're going to be able to, like, is Bruce Brown the deal you want to do? I think what team, that great situation would be D'Angelo Russell and Gabe Vincent from Vasilija Micic and Nick Richards. Yeah, you don't get the forward you want, but you churn an expiring contract, the guy who has a year remaining, maybe throw in the second round picks you have remaining to entice it. You get a big and a guy who can either be your sixth man or your starting point guard, and Micic. Outside of that, Matisse Thybulle kind of seems like somebody they could be interested in, but I really think Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams, they're trying, but the whole problem is, like, I guess Austin Reeves has kind of been a point guard for them. So if they're getting a run with Reeves as the point guard and just be like, let's flip Gabe and D'Lo for wing defense and a front court player, that could be it with Matisse Thybulle and Robert Williams. Vice versa, like we said, if they rather have a guard and a big, Nick Richards and Micic. Outside of that, Deron Sharp and Dorian Finney-Smith. Maybe sign Dennis Smith Jr. after you do that. Jonas Valanciunas and Malcolm Brogdon is another one that they could package Jalen Hood-Schifino, Gabe Vincent, and D'Angelo Russell for that actually could work out for them. You might have to throw a first-round pick in the 2 second-rounders you have. Outside of that, Jayshawn Tate for Gabe Vincent, maybe. Just a straight-up flip right there. I think the Lakers' decision just to, like, delay any major moves and wait till people get desperate towards the deadline is like a calculated strategy. Like, it's a decent one. I think there's way worse things that they could have done, but by January, league-wide player availability and team dynamics is going to be clear. We're going to have a better vision on that, and front offices are going to be able to strike deals. There's also guys who become trade eligible on January 15th. I think finding or maximizing roster fit without compromising future flexibility is the biggest thing. I think getting a rebounding big, while a true point guard or just a lockdown defender, because if you believe in Reeves as your point guard, then get a true defender and just signed a backup point guard through free agency. But yeah, the Lakers' patient approach, I think, shows their intent to make sure they have a good contender this year. LeBron and AD are going to have to continue addressing the gaps in rebounding, perimeter defense, and just making sure this team can get better looks so they can improve their consistency from the deep. And I think if they can get a strategic acquisition that aligns with JJ Redick's coaching style, it really could position the Lakers back into the formidable threat we thought they would be for the Western Conference.